Hello dear friends. In the last lecture we have studied general method to solve non-linear PD of order 1 and that is Charpit's method. Today in this lecture we will solve problems on Charpit's method. I have written the problems here. We will solve these one by one. Now we shall consider solution for first problem. The equation is to be written as function of x, y, z is equal to 0. So we shift this one on left side and let the right side be 0, which is a function of x, y, z and pq. Here z is absent, but in general the given PD is, or the given equation is f of, or we may write simply it as f is equal to, it is p plus q in bracket p into x plus q into y minus 1 is equal to 0. Note this, and this is 1. This one is shifted on left side. Now further we want to use the Charpit's method, and therefore we have to write the auxiliary equations of Charpit's method. So by Charpit's method the auxiliary equations are, these are the auxiliary equations, that is the auxiliary equations are, it is dp divided by partial derivative of f with respect to x in plus p into partial derivative of f with respect to z dq divided by, see, dou f by dou y plus q times dou f by dou z, and dz divided by negative p dou f by dou p, negative q dou f by dou q, and next it is dx divided by dou f by dou p. In short notation we have written f suffix p means partial derivative of f with respect to p, and next is partial derivative of f with respect to q, and last ratio is, or the term is df by 0. See, these are the same equations we have to remember. So these are to be remembered. These are auxiliary equations in Charpit's method. Now we shall write further. This is dp divided by, we will have to find out what is partial derivative of f with respect to x, and here it's p into p plus q. So you can verify that easily. P into p plus q is partial derivative of this. Now plus p, partial derivative of f with respect to z. There is no z, the derivative is 0. So this we have obtained here, and is equal to dq divided by. Similarly, partial derivative of f with respect to y. Y is term here, its derivative, qy derivative is q, but it is multiplied by p plus q. So p plus q into q, and next is plus q into 0. And likewise the remaining terms can be obtained, but we see we have to solve this as in Lagrange's equation. We have solved auxiliary equations and taking the ratios. So if you observe these two ratios here, these terms are 0, and what remains is only this one, and in that also p plus q cancels from either side, and we get dp upon p is equal to dq upon q, and that is useful. Separate variables, and we can get the integration of this. So there is no need to write the further fractions, and therefore we will continue with these two fractions only. So this implies dp upon p is equal to dq upon q by cancelling this term, and integrating we get so what is integration of dp by p? Log of p, that is, so this equation we need further, and integrating we get log p is equal to log q and plus a constant log c1, or shifting this term on this side, it becomes log p by q is equal to log c1. Eliminating log, we get p upon q is equal to c1, or this means p is equal to c1 into q. Thus we obtain one value of our p as c1 into q. We have expressed p in terms of q. Now use this value of p in 1 to get the value of q, and therefore putting this in 1, what we shall get? See, this is p plus q. P is c1 q plus q. In another bracket, px, that is c1 q into x, plus qy and minus 1, or I shall write that minus 1 on right side as plus 1. Or from this we want the value of q, and that can be solved. Q is common. Here also q is common. That becomes q square. And in bracket it is c1 plus 1, and here it is c1x plus y is equal to 1. Or thus the value of q will be shift on the right side. That will be at, these two terms will be at the denominator, and then take the square root to get the value of q. So it is 1 upon root of c1 plus 1 into root of c1x plus y. This is the value of q, and thus we have obtained p and q. Now we write the differential of z. Now dz is equal to p into dx plus q into dy. This is fixed. Differential of z, and put the value of p and q in this differential. P is c1 into q, or that first we write c1 into q into dx plus q into dy. Q is common, and that is c1 dx plus dy times q, or that will be c1 dx plus dy times q is this value 1 over root of c1 plus 1 into root of c1x plus 1. So thus we have used the value of p and q. You should know this, and this is dz. Now what we have to integrate this, and for integration we can write this as dz is equal to 1 upon under root c1 plus 1. I shall write separate, and then I shall write this term here, but that term can be written as d of c1x plus y divided by under root of c1 into x plus y. You note this and verify this. What is this term? Why we have written this? Because it is of the form dt divided by root t. So as to integrate it, we have written in this form. Because d of differential of c1x plus y, c1 is constant, c1 into dx plus differential of y is dy. So these two are exactly the same, and this term is as it is. The constant is written separate. Now integrate. Or for integration, how will you integrate this term? Or we may suppose this as t, and that can be written as dz is equal to 1 upon root of c1 plus 1 dt divided by root t. T is, for time being we have considered c1 x plus y, so that is t. And now integrate. Integrating we get left side integration is z, integration of dz. This is a constant, 1 upon root of c1 plus 1. What is integration of dt upon root t? 1 by root t is t to the power negative half, and integration of this is t to the power half divided by half by power function formula. Add 1, that becomes half, or this 2 root t, and 2 root t means plus a constant c2, or put the value of t, replace the value of t. So actually this is not a substitution. We have supposed for simplicity this as t, and this t is to be replaced, that is z is equal to 2 into root of c1x plus y divided by root of c1 plus 1 plus c2, and this is the complete integral. This is the required complete integral of the given equation 1. So thus we have solved this problem 1 by starting with the Charpit's auxiliary equation. Now we consider the second one. See what is the second equation is. Let us suppose this as f. The given equation is f is equal to p into xy plus p into q plus q into y minus y into z is equal to 0. Suppose that is 1. So in Charpit's method or by Charpit's method, auxiliary equations are auxiliary equations. Now I shall not write these equations are, but we will write the direct equation. So you must produce this first and then use the values. So I am writing directly, that is dp divided by. So dp divided by what is the partial derivative of f with respect to x plus p into partial derivative of f with respect to z. F is this one. So partial derivative with respect to x, here is the only term x, and derivative of this pxy with respect to x partially is py, that is py plus, we should write these equations first and then write this step next. So plus p into partial derivative of f with respect to z, that is -1, and this is equal to dq. Now we see partial derivative of f with respect to y, that is p into x, and y term is here, that is q, and y term is here minus z. Partial derivative of f with respect to y, and now this is plus q times and what is the partial derivative of f with respect to z? So partial derivative of f with respect to z is -1, and so on. Why? Because we get the first fraction as dp divided by 0. So that is useful here, and therefore there is no need to write the remaining fractions, actual values of actual fractions. But you must produce the auxiliary equations here. I have not written to save the time, but the equations are to be written and then the values are to be written as we have done in earlier solution. This is solution second. And thus this implies dp divided by 0. And etc. What is that? But this implies dp is equal to 0. Property of ratio. And we can integrate this. On integrating, we get p is equal to constant. Integration of dp is p and constant of integration is c1. So we put this value in 1. Using this 1 or putting this in 1, we get. Now see the first equation, p is c1 xy plus here t is c1y, and next is q into y minus y into z is equal to 0. We want the value of q, and therefore see, we have to consider the second is p into q. P is c1 and c1 into q must be there. Verify this. P is c1. Yes. And now we want to get the value of q. So take this term common. Q is common. What remains in bracket is c1 plus y into q. And I write the remaining terms on that side. This minus yz becomes yz. And again y is common. So y in bracket z remains. And this negative c1x will be there. You can verify this arithmetic part. And further, from this the value of q is So what is q then? Q is equal to y into z minus c1 times x divided by c1 plus y. Put the values of p and q now in the equation of dz. Now dz is equal to p dx plus q into dy, or that means dz is equal to p is c1, so c1 into dx, and q is this value. So that is y z minus c1 x divided by c1 plus y into dy. So after getting p and q, we have to write this total differential of z dz. This is fixed equation, and then put the value of p and q here. Now integrating this, we get the complete integral. But before integrating this, so we have to separate the variable. And for that purpose, this can be written as dz minus c1 dx is equal to this is z minus c1x into y divided by c1 plus y into dy. Now we may observe this, and this term can be shifted on left side, or then that is dz minus c1 dx divided by z minus c1x is equal to y divided by c1 plus y times dy. Now it is in separate variable, and here also we see the numerator is the differential of the denominator, and that can be written as d of z minus c1x. This is dz minus c1 into dx divided by z minus c1x is equal to, and the right side also we should add c1 and subtract c1. So this may be written as c1 plus y minus c1 divided by c1 plus y into dy, or actually this is the procedure of division. You verify this. And next is that can the left side as it is, and that is equal to the right side I shall write. So left side is, and the right side is, this is a separation 1, it is 1 minus, verify this, 1 minus c1 divided by c1 plus y times dy. Now it is integrable easily. So integrating, what we get, integration of dz upon dt upon t, that is log of denominator. If the derivative of denominator is at the numerator, the integration is log of denominator. So log of z minus c1x is equal to, this is 1 into dy, the integration is y minus, and this is c1 is constant, and integration of dy upon c1 plus y is again log of c1 plus y plus a constant of integration that can be written as c2 plus c2. So actually this is the required complete integral. So but if you want to simplify, shift this log on left side, and that can be written as log of, this will be positive, log of z minus c1x, and this c1 is to be shifted at the exponent, so c1 plus y to the power c1, and is equal to, what is remaining on the right side is y plus c2. Laws of logarithms are used, and taking exponential on both sides, that gives z minus c1x into c1 plus y raised to c1 or to the power c1 is equal to e to the power y plus c2, or that can also be written as e to the power y into b, where b is e to the power c2 is b. So thus this is the complete integral. This is the required complete integral. So thus we have solved the second problem. Now one more we will solve, that is the third, solution for third. Now the given equation can be written in the same form, f. F is, so what is f is 2 into z plus xp plus y into q minus yp square is equal to 0. And the auxiliary equations are, so to write this. Write these two lines. In every solution, we have to write first this. I am not writing, I will write directly the next step. That is dp divided by partial derivative of f with respect to x. See this. And with respect to x, it is 2p. Remaining are constant. And p, partial derivative of f with respect to z. There is no, here it is z, 2z, so it is 2. Yes. And this is dq divided by partial derivative of f with respect to y, that is 2q, and y it is minus p square. This is partial derivative of f with respect to y plus q, partial derivative of f with respect to z, and that is 2. So 2q, and this is dq. Next is dz. So here we have to go further. Dz divided by, because it will not be useful result for only by these two fractions, these two ratios. So we have to write all these and for this problem. So dz divided by negative p into partial derivative of f with respect to p. So minus p, what is partial derivative of f with respect to p? Here it is. See 2x and minus 2yp. 2x minus 2yp. Check it. This is p into fp minus what is q into fq. Fq, partial derivative of f with respect to q, and that is 2y only. So this is single term, dz upon this. And now what about next ratio? Next fraction is dx. Dx divided by partial derivative of f with respect to p. And I think here we have written earlier. So partial derivative of f with respect to p is 2x. It is negative 2x. And then with respect to p, it is minus 2yp. So it is to be written in bracket. And next is equal to dy. Dy divided by negative partial derivative of f with respect to q. And partial derivative of f with respect to q is, q term is here, 2y. And last is df divided by 0. So thus we have written all the ratios here in this problem. Charpit's auxiliary equations we have written. Earlier two fractions were sufficient, and therefore we have not written the remaining fractions, but here we need. And why? Because now you see this is a separate variable part and this is also a separate variable part, and therefore we equate this first and this fifth ratio. So taking the first and fifth fractions or ratios. So what we shall get is dp divided by this is 4p is equal to dy divided by negative 2y, or this 2 can be cancelled, and that is a dp divided by p plus, I shift this term on this side, here is 2 dy upon y is equal to 0. Now this can be integrated, and integrating what we shall get, see. Integrating. So we get as log p, this is 2 log y is equal to log c1, and that means log of, take this 2 at the exponent of y, so p into y square is equal to log c1. Laws of logarithms are used, so you can verify this, or that gives p into y square is equal to c1, or that gives p is equal to c1 divided by y square. Now we use this value in 1 to get q. So putting this in 1, we get, now see what is 1, 2 into z, z plus x into p, x into c1 divided by y square, and plus y into q, and minus y into p square, square of this, c1 square divided by y to the power 4 is equal to 0. Verify it. And now we want the value of q from this. So here it is q, 2y cube, 2y into q is equal to, remaining I shall write on that side, and here this term is c1 square upon y cube, c1 square divided by y cube, positive on that side, and this is negative 2z, and this is negative 2x c1 x divided by y square, 2 c1 x divided by y square. So this is 2y cube, and therefore q will be from this divided by 2y. So that will be c1 divided by c1 square divided by 2y to the power 4, and this 2 cancels, z divided by y, and next is this 2 cancels, and minus, we have to divide by y, then it will be c1 x divided by y. So this is the value of q we have obtained. Now put the value of p and q in dz equation. Now what is the total differential of z? P into dx plus q into dy. And what is p? C1 upon y square. This is c1 upon y square into dx, and q we have just obtained, that is c1 square divided by 2y to the power 4 minus z upon y, and minus c1 x divided by y cube into dy. So this is the equation we have obtained. From this, what we shall express to have the total differential form, we will write this as multiply throughout by y, because y term is here and y at the denominator is there. So multiply by y, and that gives y times dz is equal to, and this will be c1 divided by y, multiplying by y, c1 1 power reduces, c1 upon y into dx, and that is plus, in bracket here, that will be c1 square divided by 2y cube, and minus z, and then next is minus c1 x divided by y square into dy, this term, or further that will be, now we shall consider this, this is y dz, and minus z dy shift on left side, that is y dz plus that is z dy, it will be positive on the left side and is equal to, further we will write this term which is separate of y, c1 square divided by 2 y cube into dy, that term separate we have written, and what is remaining is these two terms, and for these two terms we write the denominator as y square, and then the term is to be written as plus, the denominator I shall write y square, and then the numerator here we have to multiply by c1 is also common, so I shall write plus c1, and here the numerator is to be multiplied by y, so it is y into dx, and next this is c1 is taken common, minus x into dy, Why we are writing like this? You can verify this. Should verify only the terms are shifted, and why the terms are shifted, and why it will be useful, that we will see. Now what is the left side? The left side is exactly the differential of y into z. See, by product rule, y into y as it is differential of z dz, y dz plus z into dy. So that is exactly, this is d of y of z. So the integration will be simply yz, because integration of dx is x, integration of dy will be d of yz will be yz, and this is a separate form, so we keep as it is. So we can easily integrate this, or otherwise this can be written as c1 square divided by 2 y to the power negative 3 dy. And what about the remaining, that is c1? This is also a differential of x upon y. By quotient rule, we may verify what is the differential of x upon y, or derivative of this. So the denominator is by quotient rule y into differential of x, that is dx, minus x into differential of y, that is dy, divided by y square. So thus now it is easily integrable. Integrating, what we get, yz, y into z is equal to integration of d of y z, d cancels, integration, it is y into z. So this is c1 square divided by 2. What is integration of y to the power negative 3? Power function formula. Increase the power by 1, so it is y to the power negative 2 divided by negative 2. And plus c1, and different integration of this is simply x upon y. Integration of d of x upon y. Integration of dt is t. So integration of d of x by y is x by y, plus a constant of integration. And this is the complete integral. So at the most you can write this minus 1 by 4, etc. So this is, or we may divide by y, and that is z is equal to divide by y. If you divide by y, then it will be minus 1 by 4 c1 square. This is at the denominator, this is at the denominator, 1 upon y cube. And next, if you divide by y again, then that is c1 x upon y square plus c2 divided by y. This is the complete integral. This is the required complete integral. And thus we have solved the third problem here. So in this way we can use Charpit's method to solve the problems. This is a general method. Any type of problem, standard, earlier we have written standard forms. Now which method is to be used? So if you recognize the form, if it is standard form 1, then use that method. If it is standard form 2, then use that method, 3, 4, etc. And but it is none of these standard forms, then we have to go for Charpit's method, because it is applicable. Yeah, and Charpit's method is applicable to standard forms also. You can verify that. See, and we have solved 3 problems, and remaining problems you should solve yourself, try yourself. Now what is the 4th problem? This is z is equal to p into x plus q into y plus p into q. Actually that is type 2nd. And see what is the second type? It is z is equal to p into x plus q into y plus function of pq, and its solution is directly obtained by replacing p and q by constants we have there, a and b. Instead of a and b, here it is c1 c2 used. So the solution is apparently or directly c1x plus c2y plus c1 c2, but you should try by Charpit's method for this. Similarly, this is actually third form, that is function of z pq is equal to 0. There we have put p is equal to a into dou z by dou x, dz by dx, and q is a p is dz by dx we have kept, and x is equal to x plus ay. That is third form. So it is of the third form. You try these 4 and 5 by both earlier method and Charpit's method. Then you will come to know the difference between these methods. But if you recognize the form, the earlier method is convenient. But if you don't recognize it, or it is none of the forms, then we have to go for Charpit's method. So this is the next example, and similarly you can solve 6th and 7th. I have written the answers also, you can verify. So this is about the general method which is Charpit's method. So remaining we will continue next time. Next method we shall study Jacobi's method in our next lecture. Thank you.